Hello, BookTube. I want to offer 3 cheers for my UPS driver this morning who delivered 3 packages in 3-degree weather. So we have, unbelievably, a mail haul, even though it is the dark side of the moon outside. I hope he's getting paid enough. But let's see what we have here. We have a little package, a much bigger package, and a box. For our first mail haul of the year, I filmed a 20-minute mail haul yesterday that just went off the rails. I had completely forgotten how to do a mail haul, so I got one book and started ranting, and it just went on and on and on. So I don't think I'll be uploading that. But let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. Oh, hello. Actually, everybody's been asking about you, so why don't you make a formal appearance here? There you go. Who's that? It's Frida. Yes. Oh, yes. Those are all your fans out there. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Oh, Frida, are you in the camera or you are not? Oh, God. No, don't touch anything. Oh, God help us. You have plenty of toys. There you go. All right. So the first book in our first mail haul of the new year is not only a romance, but a Regency romance. It's Laura Lee Gerke's The Trouble with True Love. Look at that. I don't see any trouble there. And she's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. I am so happy to have this. This comes out at the end of the month. Let's see here. For Clara Deverill, standing in for the real Lady Truelove means dispensing advice on problems she herself has never managed to overcome. There's nothing for it but to retreat to a tea room and hope inspiration strikes between scones. It doesn't, and Clara overhears a rake waxing eloquent on the art of honorable jilting, and suddenly she is inspired. The cad may look like Adonis, but he's about to find himself on the wrong side of Lady Truelove. And Lady Truelove is this, it's from previous books, it's this high society gossip column that's Lady Truelove is anonymous. Her identity is discovered in the last book, the previous book in this series, and now someone else has to carry it on, and it's getting someone else in trouble. Rex Galbraith is an heir with no plans to produce a spare. Quite how that works, but that's all right. He would produce an heir, not a spare. His brother is. Never mind. He flirts with a minimum number of eligible young ladies to humor his matchmaking aunt, but Clara is the first to ever catch his roving eye. And when he becomes aware that Clara, as Lady Truelove, has used his advice as newspaper fodder, he's infuriated. But when he's forced into a secret alliance with her, he realizes he's got a much bigger problem, because Clara is upending everything Rex thought he knew about women and about himself. Okay, this is a January release, and I'm going to read it today, because it's 2 degrees. And that is, once again, our cover. Isn't that lovely? You can't really make it out because of the crappy camera here, but the background is all suffused. It's all unfocused. Just a riot of pink shading into red. Just lovely. Okay, so we're off to a fine start. Now let's see if we can keep this ball rolling. Oh, and from an earlier video, some of you have been asking me about that blank shelf directly behind me, the one below my Regency romances and above my Regency romances. I don't mean it to be in between them. I'm going to move the Regency romances down and have the blank shelf up there. But the purpose for it is that shelf in 2018 is going to accommodate the secondhand books that I get that I decide to keep. Not the ones that I cycle through because I find something for 50 cents and I want to read it, but I have no intention to keep it, and I cycle it back out again. But the ones that are actually going to stay in my library. I want that number of those books to be no more than one shelf wide. So I'm going to do that. That's what that shelf is for. Anyway, let's see what this next one feels big. Feels huge. Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. This is the an uncorrected bound manuscript of President Carter, the White House years. Wow. Okay, by Stuart Eisenstadt. I don't know if this is going to even have a mock-up cover. No. Okay, so I just got this thing. I'm not really sure why I just got this thing, because this is an uncorrected bound manuscript, but there are bound manuscripts with cover art for this book already. So I'm not really sure how I got this one. Maybe this is all that was left after the big fish got their way. Okay. So Jimmy Carter, 39th President of the United States, long before my time, remains a visible and vocal presence in American politics. His presidency, however, is often overlooked and misrepresented in the historical record. Okay. That's not actually true. I've read everything there is to read about the Carter administration. The historians have been pretty good about it. Unless this guy has a radical new take. In President Carter, the White House years, Stuart Eisenstadt presents a comprehensive history of the Carter administration, proving that Carter was the most impactful, God help us, can we retire that stupid non-word, the most impactful, consequential one-term U.S. president, and in this sense, not only is there no such word as impactful, but if there is such a word, if there ever were such a word as impactful, it would mean consequential. So why do you need them both? You don't. Consequential was just fine. The most impactful, consequential one-term U.S. president. Ooh. What about William Howard Taft? And also non-facetious, although I'm not completely being facetiously, William Howard Taft enacted more antitrust legislation in one term than any president had done in, I don't know, 2 terms, or even in one particular case, 4 terms. But leaving aside him, there's George H.W. Bush, whose one term as president saw the end of the Cold War and the coming down of the Berlin Wall. That could have been handled very badly, and it wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, let's see here. The author presents I've already said that. Let's see here. Eisenstadt is eminently qualified to write this book. Indeed, it has been a lifetime in the making. As Carter's chief domestic policy advisor, Eisenstadt had a front row seat for both the big and small decisions in the administration. Based on 5,000 pages of contemporaneous notes, hundreds of first-hand interviews with key officials within and outside the Carter administration, including Carter himself, and a trove of declassified documents, President Carter is an intimate behind-the-scenes account of a president who always strove to do the right thing while often disregarding political repercussions. And that part is what makes this so intriguing. That this is, for me, this is an enormous work. It's a, regardless of what I will think about its theme, or any conclusions that it comes to, it's an indispensable starting point for any future historians of Carter, because this is a guy who was there, and a huge amount of stuff has been gathered together by him over years. So that's great. Fantastic. Okay, this comes out in late April. Still a little bit bugged by the kind of free version that I got, which is pretty much the ultimate first world problem. But I was all right. I got an uncorrected bound manuscript. That's all right. That's okay. It's going fast because the publicist has to know this is going to get reviewed everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. The Times will put it on the front page of the book review. The Atlantic, New Republic, all of the political magazines, Weekly Standard, the National Review, they'll all take a shot at it one way or another, either to approve of it or to hate it. So probably that stack of bound galleys with cover art, not the uncorrected bound galley, but that stack of ARCs, essentially, in the publicist's office that they have just stacked there, probably that stack disappeared pretty quick. So I can't really complain. And yet I have been. And then the last thing here, the last of our 3 books for 3 degrees, is a box. So we'll see what this is. Oh my God! Oh, goodness gracious! I've mentioned before on this channel how weird I find it to open with a packing slip, because this is a huge amount of money that I'm getting every week, and I would be bankrupt pretty quick if I had to pay for these things. Let's see here. Okay, All right, this is from Cambridge University Press. Interesting. I don't often get stuff from them. And from their winter catalog, I can think of, off the top of my head, I can think of 15 titles that I would have wanted before this one. So that's really strange. This is Termites of the State, Why Complexity Leads to Inequality by Vito Tanzi. Termites of the State. He is a renowned public economist, and in this book he presents a sweeping account of the industrialized world's economic development during the 20th century. In the tradition of grand economic histories, he connects the biggest issues of the modern world, including extreme gaps in income distribution, increasing complexity of government actions and regulations, and asymmetry of access to information and to political influence between the elite and the rest of society. Okay. All right, but this is only, what, 300 pages long, 400 pages long, so he can't do much of that. All right, well, maybe he concentrates on America. That would probably be the case here. Okay, great. So this comes out, help me out here. This comes out, okay. It doesn't say. In all of this verbiage, it does not say when it comes out. Which is the only thing that I... Okay. Well, I'll have to find out and write it on the copy sheet, but I'd be willing to bet it's out already, if that's the case. Anyway, so that's interesting. Cambridge University Press. Termites of the State. Not quite sure who the termites are there, but that's... this is our trio of books. We've got a economic history, social economic history. Then major presidential biography for 2018. One of probably 6 that I know of so far that are coming out. Oh, don't do that. Okay, I'll look away from you for a minute to finish a video. And The Trouble with True Love by Laura Lee Gerke, who's really, really good. So there you go. That is our first mail haul of the day. We'll see if my mail truck driver is as heroic as UPS. I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.